favorites.com and go with the home team, Mississippi Farm Bureau. On your radio right now, former Mississippi State legend, former Seattle Seahawk legend, KJ Wright. And we got a lot to get to with KJ Wright, a man who played in a couple of Super Bowls. He's got a Super Bowl ring, but I have a really important question, KJ, as we start this. I'm curious, did you ever get those heated floors and that heated toilet seat that you wanted?
I think you watched my House Hunters episode.
Absolutely. KJ Wright, big ballin' in Seattle, House Hunters on HGTV. He settled for the house that didn't have the heated toilet seat.
And to this day, every time I get out the shower, my feet are freezing, and when I use the bathroom, I'm cold. I do not have those heated floors nor heated toilet seats. It's a shame that I didn't get that done. But I plan on, in my next house, it's mandatory. When I move into my next house, it is mandatory that I have that done.
KJ, you know NFL contracts are public. I think you can afford heated floors in the next house if you want to do
that. Yeah, and I invested wisely. I saved my money. I have the funds. It's just a matter of getting it done. I'm cheap at heart. You know, I'm really a frugal young man, and so I got to invest into my bathroom next time I get a house.
There you go. I don't think you'll regret that when it's all said and done. Hey, man, we really appreciate you spending a few minutes with us. Let's talk briefly about your journey. A Mississippi kid growing up from DeSoto County and Olive Branch, and you go to Mississippi State. You have a great career there. You have the career in the NFL. And I love the way that it ended last year where you're able to go back home to Seattle. You sign that one-day contract, and you get to retire a Seattle Seahawk. Could you have ever imagined any of this?
Oh, not at all. It's funny you asked it because last year I took my dad to Alaska, and we went on a fishing trip, and we were just sitting there, just hanging out, and I was like, Dad, could you ever imagine that when I was in high school that I would have these type of accomplishments and have this type of impact on people? And my dad said, who's been with me every step of the way, he said, I could have never imagined this. I mean, you just look at what I did in high school, 3-sport, all-state, graduate from Mississippi State, go to Pro Bowls, go to Super Bowl, Seahawks Man of the Year. Steve, there's just so many things that I accomplished, man. And it's just a testament to my family, just a testament to myself staying focused in high school and college and overcoming injuries and just staying the course, man. And so I'm just truly thankful for everything that I accomplished in my NFL and college career. And this next phase, as I'm retiring, it's going to be even more special as I do more great things in the world. And so I'm just truly thankful and blessed. I'm really just getting started.
KJ, you said something in there that stood out to me. I mean, you got a Super Bowl ring. You played in a couple of them. You had an unbelievable career. But you mentioned in what you were saying there, Seahawks Man of the Year. People know about the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. And I'm not sure that maybe the regular fan realizes how big a deal that is. In terms of your accomplishments, being named Seahawks Man of the Year, is that kind of toward the top?
Absolutely. I would say it's top 5 in things that I've gotten done. And then crazy, when it came to me, it came at a very low moment in my life because I suffered pretty much a season-ending knee injury. And but it just goes to show you that, hey, KJ, football is important, but the impact you make in your community, what you give back to those around you, is just as important. And so that year I had built water wells in Kenya. I went on a guy's trip to Kenya, and then I noticed that this young girl had some dirty brown water, and I was like, what the heck is going on here? And so they said that the young ladies are responsible for going to get that water, and when they get back it's dirty. I said, we got to get this fixed. And so that was just one of the many things that I've done throughout my NFL career, and just having football camps and got my foundation going. And so the list goes on. And so as I retire, I have more time to do more things in my community.
KJ, let's talk about football for a second and what the guys – you got 4 teams that are still standing right now. What is the mindset this week in preparation for the AFC and the NFC championship games? And then I want to ask you in a second, after we go through that, how this week differs from getting ready for a Super Bowl. But this week in particular, when you're one win away from getting to the pinnacle of football in the Super Bowl, what's it like from a preparation standpoint this week?
This week is so exciting. You just realize you have one more game to go before you get to the big dance, and there's just one opponent standing in front of you. And so this week is fun. It's energetic. It's a combination of calmness, but you're antsy at the same time. Like, man, I'm just ready to get on the football field to get to the Super Bowl. And so the matchup I'm really excited to look forward to is this Philadelphia Eagles-San Francisco game. I mean, this is my Super Bowl. I believe this game is going to be phenomenal. You have two really great defenses, two really exciting offenses, a young quarterback in Brock Purdy, a vet in Jalen Hurts. This is going to be so fun and exciting to watch. But I tell you, man, to be in this moment twice in my NFL career, it's kind of, I wouldn't say it's better than the Super Bowl, but it's right up there as far as the intensity goes.
Help us understand how impressed we should be with what Brock Purdy has done. He wasn't even the backup, right? He was a rookie who was the third-string quarterback. It was Trey Lance's team, and then it was Jimmy Garoppolo's team, and then he comes in and he's just steady and doesn't make mistakes and now has San Francisco in this position. How impressed should we be with that?
I mean, here, I'll say this about Brock Purdy. What he has going on for him is that his surrounding cast is phenomenal. I believe it starts with Kyle Shanahan, the play caller. When you look at what he's asking of Brock Purdy, he is not asking him to do much. We're going to run this football. We're going to give you about 40 runs a game. And what we're going to do is when we do run this ball, I'm going to draw up some guys that are wide open. You just deliver the ball to him. And so he's not asking Brock Purdy to do too much. Then on the other side of the ball, he has a great defense. We're going to keep this score low. We're going to create turnovers. We're going to give you more opportunities. And so he is doing a phenomenal job. But to say that, compare him to the next best thing, we need to see a complete season of him to say, hey, Brock Purdy is a really good quarterback, and Brock Purdy has arrived. And so he is executing the offense at a high level. But when you have Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, they make life easy for you.
How does this San Francisco defense compare to the Legion of Boom?
Ooh, man, I seen these guys when they came up to Seattle up close and personal. And I don't like comparing people to my Legion of Boom guys. We were
I'm sure you don't.
But I'm telling you, these guys, they're close. They're really close. And I believe if they get a Super Bowl, they will be in that conversation because I watched these guys, obviously up front, led by Nick Bosa. He's Defensive Player of the Year. He's just a human wrecking ball. The way he defends the run, get after the quarterback. But my favorite guys is Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw. Just watching them play the linebacker position. Anytime you gain 2 or 3 yards on these guys, they're pissed off and they're mad that you even got that much. And so I just love what I see out of these guys. D'Amico Ryan should be a head coach next year. And so these guys are fast, they're physical, they create turnovers, and they score on defense.
I want to ask you about another linebacker in the NFL. Your career's only overlapped by a year. Patrick Willis did not play the game nearly as long as some people do, didn't play it as long as you did. He is a Hall of Fame candidate. Is Patrick Willis a Hall of Famer?
Absolutely. First ballot. You better
Really?
believe. You go back to his Ole Miss days, number 49 ran that big block on his hand when he had broke his hand, and just a bona fide playmaker. He recreated that position, like 6'4", 250 pounds, runs faster than a deer, runs downhill, makes plays all over the field. And so one of my favorite guys to watch, I went each and every offseason, and I studied number 52 for the San Francisco 49ers. He's just someone that I always admired, played in the SEC, grew up in Tennessee, and just a guy that when you want to learn how to play linebacker, these guys top 10 that you should watch when it comes to watching film on them. Phenomenal player.
I know you gravitated to that NFC game, and I get it, but take me to Arrowhead for a second. People are calling it Burrowhead because Joe Burrow hasn't lost there. You've got the young guy, so much swagger. You got Patrick Mahomes, maybe the most dynamic player in the league. What do you see when you look at that AFC title game?
This match is going to be fun as well. Anytime you go into Arrowhead, it's going to be a battle. I mean, those fans are passionate. It's loud. It's always packed. And facing Patrick Mahomes is not easy. When I look at that offense, I played obviously plenty of offenses. This offense was the hardest to stop because they don't run traditional football. It's essentially kind of like backyard football. They just draw up stuff, and you're like, what the heck was that? And so I look at Patrick Mahomes in this matchup. I don't really like him that much because his ankle. I know that they say he's a full participant in practice, but we all know that a high ankle sprain, you're going to struggle a little bit. And so when he makes most of his plays, it's usually scrambling. When he gets out of the pocket, make throws downfield. And so just Joe Burrow, man, he's just a really special guy, having a phenomenal season. It's kind of going under the radar. So talk about him for being Offensive Player of the Year or MVP. And so I got the Bengals in this game. I know it's going to be hard, but Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, I believe they're going to get it done.
All right, so the Super Bowl matchup is what? Bengals against who's getting it done in the NFC?
I got the Eagles. I
Okay.
got Philly. They're making it look really easy. Leading the league with 70 sacks. They've only lost 3 games, and 2 of those games, Jalen Hurts was injured. And
Right.
so I like the Niners, but I believe that Brock Purdy, his rookiness is going to have an effect this game. And so give me the Eagles versus the Bengals, and call me next week when we to see who gonna win the Super Bowl.
All right, we're going to hold you to it. I've enjoyed this conversation as much as any interview we've done in a long time. KJ, thanks so much for your time. Have a great weekend.
No doubt. Thank you.
That's KJ.